neighbors and friends of Asylum Hill. My name is Jackie McKinney. I'm chair of Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association. What we just refer to it as AHNA right now. It's a lot of words. And I have the honor of welcoming all of you to our 25th anniversary celebration of the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association. Oh, you clapped too soon. I should have get on. Scripts and me don't always get along. So let's make some noise about 25 years. So, on behalf of the AHNA Board of Directors, I want to thank you for coming this evening. For some of you, this event may be your introduction to AHNA. Many others of you may have been our partners in building community for some time, but whether you are new to our organization or a longtime friend, we are glad you are here to toast our first 25 years and help us launch the next 25. In fact, we already started talking about what we do for 30. Well, this is so great, we have to do something bigger next time. I don't know what we're going to do. But before we continue our program, I would like to invite Reverend D. Littlepage, Rector of Trinity Episcopal Church, to help us connect to the Spirit that has gotten us to this point and to the same higher power we'll need to guide and support us in the future. So please join me in welcoming Reverend D.
Good evening. It is indeed my honor to be with you all here tonight on this momentous occasion. As I am praying from the Christian tradition, I invite you to pull in your heart and mind whatever spirit tradition is valid for you. However you connect to that which is the source of life, the source of inspiration, the source of all that is good, as together we continue in this celebration. Let us pray. Most merciful Creator, source of all that is, in whom we live and move and have our being. We thank you for 25 years of residents coming together to connect with each other, to envision how they want their neighborhood to look, and then make it happen. We thank you for 25 years of stakeholders saying we are part of the community too, and joining with residents as together we say, we have a vision, and we can make it happen. As we celebrate tonight, Lord, we remember those in our community who are struggling tonight, those who aren't here celebrating with us. As we remember them, we acknowledge that there is still work yet to do. And so we come asking for your inspiration, your grace, and your guidance for the next 25 and 25 and 25 years to come. As Asylum Hill continues to be a beacon in the city of Hartford, for what it looks like for a community to thrive with green spaces and safe streets, for a community to come together and empower each other to say, we will create the world that we want to live in. As we celebrate tonight, Lord, fill our hearts with joy, fill our minds with awe, fill our feet with your Spirit as we leave this place and continue doing the work of connecting, empowering, being community. In your name we pray, amen.
Thank you very much. Tonight's event would not have been possible without the many contributions of our sponsors, contributors, and volunteers. Show slide. Is there a slide? Oh, there it is. Here's all our volunteers. We are so pleased to enjoy the support of many institutions who support AHNA generally and in this event specifically. If you are connected to one or more of these wonderful organizations, please stand and remain standing so that we may recognize you all at once with a thunderous applause. Our anniversary sponsor, the Hartford. Our silver sponsors, oh, keep standing. We haven't finished clapping yet. Our silver sponsors, Trinity Health of New England, Hartford Public Schools, the Village for Families and Children, the Cathedral of St. Joseph's, and Emmanuel Congregational Church. Our bronze sponsors, NINA, Headco, Wheeler Clinic, and Youth Challenge of Connecticut. Our contributing sponsors, Connecticut Public TV, I guess that's what it is. Our patron sponsor, Lynn Johnson. Finally, I do want to give special recognition to our event sponsor and gracious host, the Mark Twain House and Museum, for their generous hospitality. I am pleased that Peter Rose, Executive Director of the Mark Twain House and Museum, is here with us, and I ask that you join me in thanking him, his team, and all of our wonderful sponsors representing gathered here tonight. You'll also note in your program that we received advertising, in-kind contributions, and volunteer support from a number of people and businesses. There are too many to mention here, but do review the program book and be sure to let them know that you appreciate their support of this event and of the Asylum Hill neighborhood. Last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my fellow board members, and especially the 25th Anniversary Committee, for their hard work, together with our wonderful Executive Director, David McDonald, and our talented communications consultant, Carrie Austin. Our 17 board members work with you and other volunteers to advance the goals of our organization and the vision for our future. Please join me in thanking everyone. Now, to take us through the rest of the program, I'm asking you to please welcome one of our Asylum Hill neighbors to host a Connecticut Public Audacious and our MC for the evening, Kion Wolf.
I've lost control of the radio professional has lost control of the mic. Can you imagine that? It shoots, okay, hold on, I got this. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming up. First of all, I want to compliment everybody on their outfits. Every single one of you looks absolutely amazing. I see you shimmering in the back. I see you. I can't help but see you. You're beautiful. In 1980, I was born here in Hartford. I grew up in Farmington. And then when I got an internship at Connecticut Public Radio in 2007, I decided that Asylum Hill had to be where I laid down my roots. As an NPR fanatic turned very eager intern, I wanted to root down as close to the radio station as possible to position myself favorably for my inevitable rise to public radio stardom and fame-ishness. After all, what if they needed some supremely talented on-air voice to rush over to the station at a last minute's notice? So at just one block long, I found a nice apartment on one of the shortest streets in Asylum Hill, Townley. It was a 5-minute walk to work. And then in 2017, when I was in the market for a house, I was introduced to NINA, the Northside Institutions Neighborhood Alliance. Thanks to Executive Director Ken Johnson and Program Manager David Corrigan, who are here tonight, yes, definitely. I was enchanted by a home they had just begun construction on. I learned that this house that they were building was being built with help from local volunteers, including from many of our friends at Asylum Hill Congregational Church, and a lot of people from the Hartford helped as well. As if that weren't enough, Knox donated a whole lot of soil and compost to get our pollinator garden started, and I give them credit for the fact that I still have sunflowers that are blossoming even now in October. But I loved knowing that hands were laid on my home with love before I even moved in. In August of 2018, I signed mortgage paperwork for the first time in my life, and now I have a home at 52 Huntington Street. You can come over afterwards. Although this caused my commute to work to double to 10 minutes walking, I feel so grateful to call Asylum Hill my home. There is absolutely no place else I'd rather be. And so it is with great pride that I join you tonight in recognizing the important work that our friends who make AHNA flourish have accomplished, and they've helped the rest of us flourish here as well. These are truly steadfast superheroes who are sometimes literally right in our backyards. And after 5 years of living on Huntington Street, I still feel those hands that were laid with love on my home, so many of which were hands and hearts that still contribute to the growth and health of Asylum Hill through AHNA. So as we honor the people in the program tonight, who you're going to see in the program notes, and you're going to see, and there's the little things here which are so pretty, we do honor them. And I also want to say thank you to the people who are in the room tonight who will look back on this evening and think, that was the night I thought, maybe there's something I can do here. Whether it's putting the end primer on a new house that's being built in the bathroom of it, or something truly beyond your scope of ever thinking you could accomplish. AHNA welcomes all participants as long as there is love in your heart and a vision for a stronger, more equitable, more beautiful Asylum Hill. So tonight I honor you, whom we will honor later. So a round of applause to those coming next. Okay. On to the main event. In the photo slideshow you viewed as you entered this theater and found your seats, you saw images of people and places and gatherings that were part of this 25-year history of AHNA's past. Now, it was hard tonight for AHNA to select just 5 people and organizations to honor, as there have been literally hundreds of caring residents and a range of community-minded institutions who have contributed mightily to the neighborhood progress that we celebrate tonight. But those we recognize this evening stand out as inspiring examples of leadership and community service. They may come from different parts of our neighborhood, but they share a common love for Asylum Hill and a deep commitment to those who live and love and work here. And so with that brief background, let's begin our 5 presentations. Our first award goes to the most outstanding large business, and that award goes to the Hartford. The Hartford has supported Asylum Hill, the place it has called home, for over 100 years in profound ways. In the city of Hartford and in Asylum Hill, they are providing hundreds of families access to economic, workplace, and educational opportunities. They are investing to preserve and rebuild our historic housing stock for new homeowners. AHNA has long seen and felt the company's enormous commitment to building social equity. 10 years ago, they commissioned a Harwood Institute study to determine how we could build a stronger, more equitable, and just neighborhood. The answer was to foster more community connections, to promote more social gatherings, and to renew a sense of civic spirit. From that time forward, the Hartford has looked to AHNA as its partner. They hosted our 20th anniversary celebration 5 years ago, worked with us to conduct a needs assessment, which I'm sure you all remember those emails about, 3 years ago, and then helped to fund our most recent strategic plan. AHNA and Asylum Hill are grateful that we have a large employer in our neighborhood that understands what it means to be a collaborative partner. And for that reason, the Hartford is being recognized as our neighborhood's most outstanding large employer. Here to accept this award is David Robinson, General Counsel.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you on behalf of the Hartford, and I want to congratulate all the honorees this evening. Kyone Wolf stole most of my prepared remarks, but I was hoping you could indulge me with one quick story, and it is tied to Asylum Hill for sure, but it's also because we're standing inside this beautiful Mark Twain house and museum. And obviously Mark Twain created some of literature's greatest characters, and my personal favorite is Tom Sawyer, who everybody knows as this mischievous but very kind at heart young boy. And the reason that I have a fondness for Tom Sawyer is I actually have a Tom Sawyer in our house, and that's our middle child. At least he was Tom Sawyer when he was young. And when he was young, I used to say that I had 2 great kids and another one. And I could handle the calls from coaches and sadly principals from time to time when he was in middle school, but probably the most embarrassing call I received because of my Tom Sawyer was when he was getting ready for confirmation at Asylum Hill Congregational Church. And one of the things they did before they were confirmed was they went on a trip together, sort of a camping trip. And I got a call from Erica Thompson saying, John has climbed a tree and he won't come down. And I think at the time I told Erica, it's in God's hands at this point. True story. You'll be happy to know John at 25 is a lot more responsible, although I think he still occasionally climbs trees. So listen, I am proud on behalf of the Hartford to accept this award. As Kyom said, we've been a resident of Asylum Hill for over 100 years. We've been a resident of Hartford and shared the name of this great city for over 213 years. We're really proud of the legacy of community engagement, and we're committed through our volunteerism and our financial support to the residents of this great community. And we did, as she mentioned, I think something fairly unusual when we embarked on our philanthropic or a restart of our philanthropic effort to actually survey the community to find out where they would find support most valuable. So thank you for this recognition. We plan to be here for another 200 years.
Next, let's recognize an outstanding small business, Professional Cleaners and Tailors. Professional Cleaners and Tailors, aka Budget Cleaners, is proof that you don't have to be a Fortune 100 company to make a meaningful difference. This family-run business has been at 298 Farmington Ave for over 40 years. Perhaps the longest running small business in Asylum Hill. With presence in 3 other communities, many consider this business to be one of the premier dry cleaners in the state of Connecticut. Like many of our entrepreneurs in Asylum Hill, the company owner is an immigrant. Jae Ju is a native of South Korea who came to Connecticut in 2014. He prides himself on providing exceptional dry cleaning and tailoring services to the residents of Asylum Hill and the greater Hartford area. At a time when environmental sustainability is a very high priority, it's heartening to know that all of his dry cleaning facilities are eco-friendly. They use only non-toxic, biodegradable, and EPA-approved chemicals at their facilities. In addition to caring for the planet, the small business also cares about people, from donating clothing to church groups and Dress for Success, to responding to requests of donated services from AHNA and other community groups. Jay makes certain that his business is always ready to do its part. So, caring for the planet and for people as well as profit, AHNA awards Professional Services and Tailors with the Outstanding Small Business Award. Here to accept this recognition is owner Jae Ju. Is he here? Not here. It's not Jae Ju, but please.
All right, don't worry, Jeff Stewart. I live in Clay, Arsenal still, so don't worry about it. Just I have been a long time, like over 15 years, client of Professional Cleaners. And Jay had a family emergency. He was there early, but they'd take off. And he asked me if I can come and accept it. He's really, really happy about this. He's glad you guys have embraced him. He's trying to do his part to be a good business and resident there. So he appreciates very much. He wants to thank Mr. Wayne Benjamin, who is also a client there. When I see Wayne Benjamin and I all the time, we take over Jay's place, and we always discuss solving the city's problems there. But, but anyways, he really appreciates it, and he's sorry he can't be here, but thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next honoree is a stranger to no one. It's Rep. Matt Ritter, recipient of our Outstanding Public Sector Leader Award. Matt has been our neighborhood state representative since he arrived in the State House 13 years ago, having previously served 3 years as a Hartford City Council member. Throughout his political career, Matt has distinguished himself as very smart, extremely hardworking, always accessible, and highly effective as a public servant. His efforts have led to more support for schools, for people with disabilities, for people in need of affordable housing, and for cornerstone economic developments like the restoration of the Comet Diner, the Comet Diner on Farmington Avenue. As he advocated successfully for these strategic investments, Matt has also been instrumental in reducing the tax burden on Hartford residents and businesses. In 2018, Matt became Speaker of the House, becoming the youngest person in Connecticut to ever serve that role. Because Matt practices politics with respect and civility, we honor him with this award not only for what he's done to serve our community, but because of how he's done so. Matt, please come on up and accept AHNA's Most Outstanding Public Sector Leader Award.
I might have to retire now. It doesn't get better than that. But thank you. And thank you, Jackie, for that. And don't worry, I won't take 10 minutes. I'm not one of those politicians. But I got to say a couple things that come to mind. The first thing is I was an Asylum Hill resident for 3 years. So I want to make that very clear. Yeah. And my grandfather, my mother's father, was for over 2 decades on Woodland Street. I would have stayed at Woodland Street, 31 Woodland. I loved living there. But they used to make my girlfriend, now my wife, sign in when she'd visit. They got to change that policy. It didn't go over well. She did not like signing in, so we had to go elsewhere. She still reminds me about that to this day. I want to say the value of what Asylum Hill means. And one anecdote or one story might be a good one. Harry Bellucci was the longtime football coach at Hartford High. He was the gym teacher at Noah Webster, where I went, and John Gale's here somewhere, and John knows him very well. And he called me and said, "We can't play on our football field. It's not playable when it rains. Just little, not a big storm. We can't play on it. The kids never get to play soccer. They never get to play football. I need you to get $1.5 million for turf field and lights for Hartford High." I said, "Mr. Bellucci, that's a tough order, but let me see." But I said, before I can do anything, I've known Mr. Bellucci since I was in first grade, growing up in Hartford, right? I said, "You have to go talk to the Asylum Hill NRZ." And he said, "Well, why do I have to do that? Make it happen." I said, "Because that's what I do, right? Whether it's Upper Albany that I represent, or Asylum Hill, or the West End WECA." I said, "Neighborhood organizations are strengthened by all of you out here that spend your time all free, right? All of your energy to do it. But if the people in decision-making places don't give you that respect to make you asked when you put your time in, it doesn't work. It's a two-way street. People have to volunteer and put their time in, and decision makers have to make sure that when things happen in the community, we go back to you." So I said, "You better get that letter." And guess what he did? He got the letter, and now they have turf lights and a great field, right? But that's how it's supposed to work, right? And it's supposed to be conversations, and I can't think of, there's a lot of stuff we've done, the Comet Diner, all these things together. But what's really special about this is you get awards in politics. Sometimes you deserve them, probably sometimes you don't. What's really, really unique about this is like memory lane for me. And I'm thinking back to, I could go through, I'm going to leave people out, but I think about people I grew up with, or I grew up with your kids, or people I used to serve with in the city council. I saw Jim Boucher was holding the door, which is Jim's personality. Mayor Perez, who I knew when he was working at Trinity, and Reverend Thompson, and David Robinson, I saw, Wayne Benjamin talking about the Comet, and Yvonne Matthews, and Gallo Rodriguez from the Village, and David McDonald, and I'm going on, and Ted Carroll called me about this, and I said, this just sounds wonderful. I want to be a part of it, because I've known all of you. Mike McGeary, who has a good idea once in a while, too. Mike? The first bond project I ever got bond project, no, I mean that. And Mike loves this city. He really does. And he does call me with all the assessment stuff. Mike has been a big champion on and really helped us figure out that system. And the first bond project I ever got for the city was for NINA, was for David and Ken, and fixing up a house. And so, when you have that memory lane, it's a good reminder of why you got into it. People talk about Speaker of the House now, and it all focuses on Washington and how dysfunctional that is. So I've gotten so many people say, what's it like to be the Speaker in Connecticut? It ain't like that. It's nothing like that, for two reasons. We have a better culture in Connecticut. We don't treat each other like that. We don't vacate. We don't do stuff like that. But because, unlike them, they live down there, and I think they lose touch, right? They live down there. I see you guys every day. So I know Mrs. Stark's going to let me know when I make a mistake, right? I'm going to hear it from you at the grocery store or at eating out to eat. That's the difference, folks. So what this organization does is so powerful. It's so meaningful. This award means as much to me as any award I've gotten in a long time in politics. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great night. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jackie.
Our next award is being given to an outstanding leader in the private sector, the president and CEO of the Village for Families and Children, Gallo Rodriguez. Gallo has led the Village for Families and Children since 2006. Throughout his 17-year tenure, he's helped the organization evolve to meet the changing and growing needs of our community. Its vast array of programs are designed to foster mental health, address substance abuse, and teach parenting skills, which we could all use, even if you're not a parent, it turns out. The Village now stands as one of the largest providers of foster care and behavioral health services in the state of Connecticut. The organization serves close to 20,000 clients in 59 total towns annually, but we are especially grateful for the work that it does to meet the needs of children and families in Asylum Hill, both at its main campus and at its 105 Spring Street location. During his tenure at the Village and earlier in his career as the head of Catholic Family Services and as a director of the Institute for the Hispanic Family, Gallo built a reputation for focusing on preventative and early intervention efforts. Much of his leadership philosophy and his commitment to helping others were formed at a very early age. As the child of a single mother, Gallo came to this country 35 years ago, speaking very little English. He developed empathy for children in need of support. As a primary care physician in Colombia, early in his career, he came to understand that complex issues need to be addressed in a holistic way. And as Gallo has demonstrated many times, he will do anything and everything to help children and their families find and hold on to hope. For his steadfast commitment to those in need, AHNA is pleased to recognize Gallo Rodriguez with the Outstanding Private Sector Leader Award. Gallo, come on up.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening. Thank you so much. This is a great, great honor, and very hard to follow. All these speakers have been so great. I don't have a Tom Sawyer child, but I will try to convey part of my experience today. I want to congratulate all the honorees. I want to congratulate AHNA for 25 years. Great, great career. I have been working with many of these community organizations, and I have to echo Matt's comment. It is the sense of that closeness to the community that make a difference. When I came to the Village 17 years ago, not 2010, the agency had been around for 2010. I'm not one of the founders. But I came with a vision, and it wasn't that sophisticated as I reflect back. It was about creating access, being close to the community, a telephone call away with services immediately for the community, not 2 months, not 3 weeks. When you have a mental health issue, you don't want to go and ask for help. You don't want to go. You have a substance abuse issue, a domestic, violence issue. You don't want to go to see a provider. Then almost when they tell you, come in 3 months, you say, good, now I don't have to go. We reversed that with my vision. We had to answer immediately that call. We had to see people when they look for help, when they are in that pain. We also want to create great services, quality services, services that create an impact for people. And that has been the village lately. We evolved. We are not an orphanage anymore. We evolved to be one of the largest mental health and foster care, like it was mentioned. And it was mentioned over here that I came with a mentality of the early intervention and prevention. Why? Because although we provide great mental health, residential and foster care, sometimes those services come too late. And the trauma on families who get separated and had to go to foster care, a child who had to wake up every morning in a residential place, it's not fun. It's traumatic. Then the only way to resolve the problem is getting close to the community. And that's, probably part of my message and the one that I'm going to use to end. We have developed programs like Fatherhood Program, just to make sure that fathers are part of the life of children. Children who, yes. If you look for the literature, fatherless children are incarcerated more often, teen pregnancy more often, school dropout more often. Then let's do fatherhood. We do home visitation, meaning we go to the community to identify families that are at risk, identify at the hospital during the pregnancy control, and the doctors at the hospital, San Francis, Hartford Hospital, will identify this family require some intervention. We go home and prevent and start working in attachment, which is what at the end will be their resilience. We have an opportunity financial center to give people meaning of their financial in order that they don't have that stress every day. And I can go on and on and on about what the village has become more relevant, because we want to grow that area of prevention and early intervention. We won't be able to do this without some of the partners who have been recognized today. The Hartford, your contribution to the village to enhance the life of Asylum Hill is really valuable. And we use that support, financial support, to create more programs. Speaker of the House, help us in the past legislation to create a lot of funding for an urgent care crisis center for mental health for children. Nothing that had been done before in Hartford. The Asylum Hill Congregational Church. The Asylum Hill Congregational Church. I have to say frankly, I don't want to go around. I get happy every year that we receive the check. They support us and surprise me every year with that commitment of receiving a check. And David McDonald and the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association, you have been a great partner. Thank you so much, and thank you for the recognition today.
Hold on, wait a minute. Go. You're good. Our final award honor, the most outstanding nonprofit organization, is awarded to a faith community, the Asylum Hill Congregational Church. For more than 150 years, not only has it stood at the end of my block, but Asylum Hill Congregational Church has been the house of worship for many people throughout Greater Hartford, including, of course, Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain, whose best friend was Joseph Twitchell, the first pastor of Asylum Hill Congregational Church. This church has been a principal and longtime backer of AHNA, providing the organization funding, meeting space, and a mailing address for most of our 25 years. Thank you. Consistent with one of its favored phrases, to be a church in the heart of the city with a heart for the city. The church and its members have been a driving force behind many community initiatives. Consider that Asylum Hill Congregational Church raised $5 million to build and help operate the Asylum Hill Boys and Girls Club in 2004. I got more. It worked with both Habitat for Humanity and NINA to revitalize Huntington Street, thank you, by constructing 6 owner-occupied homes, and with the Knox Parks Foundation to create the Huntington Street Community Garden. Church members helped establish Kids, Loaves and Fishes, My Sister's Place, and Hartford Interval House, all groups that continue to serve our neighbors. They also launched and housed the School for Young Children on Asylum Hill. Today, the church provides space to Kids and Spectrum in Motion, and is currently exploring the use of its garden level to respond to other neighborhood needs. From providing free meals every Sunday to 150 Asylum Hill neighbors, raising money for local nonprofits through its Music for Humanity concerts, and contributing more than $200,000 annually to community agencies, Asylum Hill Congregational Church has clearly demonstrated that it is a church in the heart of the city with a heart for the city. Accepting this recognition on behalf of the church is Reverend Erica Thompson, Senior Minister of Asylum Hill Congregational Church.
So in the early 1860s, as the United States was struggling through a vicious civil war, some of Hartford's residents were beginning to take up residence up the hill from the city center in really what became one of Hartford's first kind of suburbs, Asylum Hill. And with the influx of families on the hill, a woman named Maria Metcalf became increasingly concerned about the gaggle of children that were running wild and free, especially on the weekends. And so going door to door, asking parental permission, Maria Metcalf formed a Sunday school for children on Asylum Hill, which really was the precursor to the Asylum Hill Congregational Church. Frankly, I think parents were just jealous. And so in 1865, a group of about 100 people set the cornerstone for what was to be AHCC. And so from the beginning of our history, we have been a community of faith for the people and really by the people. Sometimes we've done it well, and sometimes we've done it not so well. There have been moments of exuberant celebration and times of repentance when we've gotten it wrong. But one of the things we are definitely proud of is our relationship with the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association, a wonderful organization that shares our values and has set its compass in the direction of justice and equity and belonging and community. Our community suffered a great loss 2 weeks ago when our church moderator, Earl Exum, died very suddenly. But one of the things Earl believed in with every fiber of his being was that beloved community is the key to ending human suffering, and actually what might end up saving us all. And so tonight I accept this award in honor of my friend, Earl Exum. And if I I also want to just connect just one story to this place, the Mark Twain House and AHCC. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I have a middle child as well. Very tenacious. She was on a tour here, and with her grandmother and a family friend, and they were on one of the guided tours that you have the people in costume that are taking you around, and the guide was telling them about the unique friendship between Mark Twain and Reverend Twitchell. And as Kian said, Twitchell was the founding pastor of AHCC. And the guide was telling Maya and my mom and the family friend about Reverend Twitchell and all of the good things that he did. And Maya raised her hand and she said, I don't know if you know this, but my mom took his job. So thank you, Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association, for being who you are in our city and in our neighborhood. Congratulations to 25 years, and here is to what 25 more will bring us all. Thank you.
Erica, as she does, inspired me to invite you to take a moment of silence with me to remember Earl. Anyone who's come through Asylum Hill, anyone who's been to your home who is no longer here, or who is only here in spirit, they use electronics, so that makes sense. I'd like to invite you to take a moment of silence with me to remember those we've loved in our neighborhood and beyond. Still here. You have just heard from 5 people who represent some of the many contributors who have brought positive changes to Asylum Hill over the last 25 years. But tonight, it's also important to imagine our future. Where are we going to be 25 years from now? How are we going to get there? How do we want to get there? And how can you play a role in continuing to make the changes our community so desperately needs, including the changes we don't know yet that we need to make? Here to help answer these questions is AHNA Vice Chair Janine McMahon. Please join me in welcoming Janine to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, I am Janine, Vice Chair of AHNA, but I am also the Chair of the Public Safety and Quality of Life Committee, co-chair of the Friends of Sigourney Square Park, and a commissioner on the Parks and Rec Commission. And I was almost voluntold into each one of these positions. I take a lot of pride in the work that I do with AHNA. I think I might have been one of the youngest members when I joined the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association. I'm probably one of the youngest vice chairs and soon to be chair of the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association. But one of my proudest accomplishments in Hartford and the Asylum Hill area is that I am also a NINA homeowner. So, so Kayan and I are part of the NINA Alumni Network. I just made that up. It doesn't exist, but it might. My family has grown, has flourished, has thrived in the Asylum Hill neighborhood. When I purchased my home, I was asked, why Hartford? Why don't you move to another town? And my response was, Hartford has promise, Hartford has potential, and Asylum Hill is where it's at, honestly. So 2 years ago, many of you were... and I couldn't leave my friends. So 2 years ago, many of you were among 75 residents and stakeholders who helped chart a course for Asylum Hill's future. The strategic plan that resulted was so compelling that it was unanimously accepted by the city's Planning, Development, and Zoning Commission earlier this year. Thank you. The plan was comprehensive, detailed, and it enjoyed support from our entire membership. The plan was also action-oriented. In fact, over the last couple years, many of you have helped us implement several of these actions by working on a job and career fair that was recently held, planting pollinator gardens, restoring housing for new homeowners, supporting the arts and businesses on Farmington Avenue, working to calm traffic on Asylum Hill Avenue, and just recently, this past weekend, we hosted an energy fair at the Sigourney Square Park, and these are just to name a few. We organized these varied initiatives from a common vision. Our friends from the Hartford helped us communicate that vision in the video you are about to watch. May it inspire you as it continues to inspire me.
Imagine a neighborhood where citizens and business owners work together so everyone feels safe. Imagine a neighborhood park that is a clean, green, safe haven for families and children. This park is a place where fairs, church services, and concerts attract both residents and visitors. A place where everyone can come to know, appreciate, and support one another. Imagine a neighborhood where pollinator gardens are planted, food waste is composted, brown fields are repurposed, and buildings are solarized. Volunteers beautify the streets and riverfront as an expression of commitment to their neighbors and to the planet. Imagine a neighborhood where residents have access to career fairs and skillful navigators who can help link them to jobs, training, and needed support services. Imagine a closely knit and well-supported network of human service providers that works to reduce substance abuse and COVID while boosting hope and opportunity. Imagine a neighborhood where parents whose greatest dream is to provide for their children are supported by volunteers who tutor and mentor students. Growing numbers of high school students get involved with the Police Athletic League and Explorers and aspire to work in law enforcement. Imagine a neighborhood with a thriving commercial corridor, vibrant with businesses, restored architectural icons, and beautiful murals. This neighborhood attracts visitors from around the corner and around the world to its celebrated cultural landmarks. Historic homes are preserved, and new home ownership opportunities are created for both current and future residents. Fortune 100 companies, small businesses, and neighborhood residents share their hopes and dreams and vow to work collectively to see one another grow and prosper. Imagine a neighborhood whose success becomes a beacon of hope that inspires other neighborhoods in Hartford and beyond to dream big and act boldly. Imagine Asylum Hill.
You know, in 2018, I was invited to DC by Ascend at the Aspen Institute, where I sat on a panel and I was addressing leaders from 32 states, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. And I was like, why me, this young person from Hartford, Connecticut? And I was asked, you know, what's your closing remarks to the individuals in this room? What can you leave them with? And I said, instead of meeting people where they are, how about we shift and meet people where they dream? And I'm going to add to this video by saying, imagine a neighborhood that allows families to dream with nonprofit organizations that help to support those dreams, and a bad A double crooked letter neighborhood board that supports those dreams and is the glue of the neighborhood. So it has been said, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. The Honor Board firmly believes that our dream is possible, and we are deeply committed to realizing our vision for Asylum Hill. But we know we can't do it alone. And we also ask you tonight to dream and believe with us. We ask you further to join us as partners and supporters in whatever ways you are able to. In your program, you will find a commitment card. So I'm going to give you a second to open your programs to that commitment card. And we ask that you give thoughtful consideration to the various ways you can assist us. First, please help us financially. We have a budget that is just a little more than $100,000. Contributions from individuals like you, membership dues from nonprofit organizations, and sponsorships from area businesses comprise an important part of our funding. Whether you can afford a gift of $25, $250, or maybe even $2,500, we want you to know that no gift is too small nor too large, and all gifts are deeply appreciated. If you would like to make an investment in our collective future, there are 3 options for giving us money tonight. So 1, you can use your phones to go to our asylumhill.org website and then hit the donate button. So that's asylumhill.org and hit donate. You can also stop at the checkout table and leave a check on your way out tonight. Or you can ask us to bill you. The second way you can be a part of our future is by volunteering time and talent. We have some very active committees that could use your help to advance our employment, environmental, public safety, and green initiatives, and economic development goals, several of which are listed in the program. We also could use more support of our communications and fundraising activities. So if you have interests and skills that match our volunteer needs, please note those on the same card as you are contributing to us tonight. Hint, hint. Finally, speaking about communications, we want to better understand how our current and prospective partners view AHNA. So please use a word or phrase that comes to mind when you hear about the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association. My word is strong. Your feedback will help us in our future marketing efforts. So please take a moment to complete the commitment card as I invite our next speaker to take the stage, Janice Castle from our mayor's office.
Good evening, everyone. As Janine mentioned, my name is Janice Castle, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Community Engagement for the City of Hartford. I'm here tonight to present a proclamation to AHNA from Mayor Bronin. But before I do that, I was sitting in my seat and listening to everyone and their connection to Asylum Hill, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Everyone is connected, and I just glanced over it, and then I remembered. So when my family moved here 30 years ago, we lived in Asylum Hill. We grew up in Woodland Village. The cathedral actually took care of my family. That's how we got by with my mom and myself and my young brother. The Urban League is where she went to find her first job. And later, my brother and myself and my mom all did our first-time homeownership there. The Hartford actually provided me with a full scholarship to Trinity College. And then I worked at the Hartford for 15 years. And now in my role at the city, I get the pleasure of working with Asylum Hill very closely in terms of helping them in all of their efforts to make this place a great place to live. So thank you, Asylum Hill, for all of the contributions. Oh, and one more. I almost forgot. 15 years ago, my mom adopted my 2 young sisters after becoming a foster parent with the village. So you never know how you will be connected to all the people around you and the neighborhoods that become part of your home. And so, again, I'm just grateful to be here. At first, I was saying, Mayor, you should go and do it. But now I see why I needed to be here. So, on behalf of Mayor Bronin, who could not be here with us today, the proclamation reads, whereas the Asylum Hill Problem-Solving Committee met for the first time on January 10th, 1995, to bring residents, businesses, and the nonprofit community together to address challenges and seize opportunities in the community, earning recognition as Asylum Hill Neighborhood Revitalization Zone in 1998. And whereas the organization has grown, the Asylum Hill Problem-Solving Committee became in the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association in 2009, and whereas over the last 25 years, the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association, AHNA, has become an active and influential organization playing an important role in improving the quality of life in the Asylum Hill neighborhood, and whereas AHNA has supported many significant development and initiatives, including the opening of the Boys and Girls Clubhouse on Sigourney Street, Habitat for Humanity homes on South Marshall Street, the demolition of the Capitol West building, as well as many others related to the environment, housing, economic development, and in education to improve the neighborhood. And whereas Board Chair Jackie McKinney and the leadership of the Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association are hosting a 25th anniversary gala celebration with our partners such as the Mark Twain House and Museum and the Hartford, among many others, to recognize AHNA's 25th anniversary and to acknowledge 5 individuals and organizations that have a positive impact in the neighborhood. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Luke A. Bronin, Mayor of the City of Hartford, along with the Court of Common Council and the citizens of Hartford, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, the 18th day of October, 2023, as Asylum Hill Neighborhood Association Day.
Okay. Janine, I'm taking your spot.
Thank you, Janice. That was amazing. And the city continues to support Asylum Hill. I'd love to report that we were the recipients of 2 Love Your Block grants this year. So a multitude of support from the city. So as you continue to reflect in ways that you can give to AHNA, we want to give you a few gifts. This is a 2-way streak. You give us something, we give you back something. And so before we close tonight, we would like to acknowledge and thank the generous donors who contributed to 2 raffle items this evening. Where's our raffle items? Oh, perfect, thank you. First, we have a beautiful piece of art from our neighbor and friend, the talented Tao Labossiere. Kian, would you like to do the honor of pulling the name? Drum roll, please.
David Shapiro. He's left the building, but we know who he is.
All right. right, congratulations to David. Please stop. Well, we'll get in contact. We will get in contact with him. All right. Next, Jay Ju from Professional Cleaners and Tailors, aka Budget Cleaners, has generously donated a $100 gift certificate. And we heard they're the best cleaners in Hartford or in the state, so this is a great gift.
The winner is Duffy Starks.
Woo! Go Duffy! Is he here? All right, so he may have left, possibly, so we will get in contact with both of our winners. Oh, he's here. Oh, all right. Okay, so at the end of our event, you will collect your gift prize at the registration table. Thank you so much. Again, so the final gift we want to present you with tonight is a dance performance from Tulani Davis and other friends from Spectrum in Motion. But, before we receive this final gift of dance, we want to thank our wonderful MC. She's like, I don't know how to accept this. Kion, we are deeply, deeply grateful for sharing your time, your credibility, and your amazing voice with us and energy this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to invite you to close us up.
Let's do it. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I know we're all comfy. We want to maybe have a sleepover. I'm into this. We could make it a new like Love Your Block thing where we sleep over at the Mark Twain house. That's actually cool. Okay. Before we close out, I've been told we're all famous because we're broadcasting live. Surprise. On HPA-TV's Comcast Channel 5, Pub, and HPA-TV's Frontier Channel 6030 Pub. We're also streaming via hpatv.org, the Facebook page, their Roku TV. This is what Connecticut Public is working on, getting on all. We got to catch up to you. Now, we know you want to relive this night over and over again, so you can do that. It'll be rebroadcast across all of HPA-TV's media outlets and made available for video on demand via the HPA-TV YouTube platform. So congratulations. This whole time, the backs of most of your heads have been very famous. Now let's close the program with Spectrum in Motion. And then when the dance is completed and you leave the theater, I ask that you drop off your commitment cards to the volunteers who are stationed at the door, and then join us for coffee, dessert, and more conversation. Friends and neighbors, I, on behalf of AHNA, deeply thank you all tonight for coming.